Welcome back to the Work of Wellbeing podcast. I'm Amy Green, your host from The Wellness Strategy, and we're here to talk about all things personal and professional wellbeing. This podcast is designed to help you become curious and consider your everyday wellbeing strategies, what you do for your own wellness, and how you can start to transform your life both in and out of the workplace. Sit back, grab a cup of tea, maybe grab a notepad, a journal, and get ready to feel really enlightened about what wellbeing used to be, what it is now, and where you can take your own wellness strategy. Hi, I'm Amy from the Wellness Strategy and host of the Work of Wellbeing podcast. Conversations around how, as educators and school leaders, we can turn schools into thriving workplaces. So exciting. A few weeks ago, recorded a podcast on cool things schools are doing. And I talked to you about how some schools are trialing 4-day a week or 9-day fortnights, about teachers choosing their own playground duties, about different things that schools are doing to reduce stress factors and hopefully create great workplaces for their staff, and that these ideas have come from staff themselves based on different data that we have, different pieces of data that we've collected over a series or a process of things that I do with schools, which again, super cool. However, sometimes when I work with schools on suggestions and ideas and recommendations, it can be extremely uncomfortable because what we're doing is we're pushing and going outside of the box. We're challenging the norm, we're challenging the status quo, we're doing things that perhaps haven't been done before and we have no evidence of. And so they can feel daunting. They can make us think, oh, no, shouldn't do that because don't know if it's going to work and no one else has done that before and I don't really know, and let's just keep it the same because that's safe and comfortable and we know. But if all we ever did was the same thing, we wouldn't evolve, we wouldn't grow, we wouldn't create new ways of working or being. And in education, we are sometimes the very last to jump on board with things. And if you were to look outside of education right now, you would know that there are workplaces that are being incredibly innovative and flexible and taking risks. And sometimes they work. Sometimes they are great. Sometimes they don't work. And that's okay. In the space of staff wellbeing and improvement, we're talking about reducing stress factors and redesigning how schools operate, developing better systems, structures, and processes. We have to be prepared to get uncomfortable. We have to take risks. Some of us have to be the leaders. Some of us have to go first. Some of us have to prove to everyone else that it can be done, and that might be you. Now, if you are committed to ensuring that your school is not just a school, but also a great place to work, I need you in 2025 to be comfortable with uncomfortable. Not just 2025, like from now and beyond. I need you to know that growth only occurs when it is hard. We do this with our students all of the time. We talk about challenges and learning pits and growth mindset, and I need you to get in the pit. I need you to get in the learning pit. I need you to have some growth mindset. That is how we're going to get change in this space. We have to dig. We have to feel a bit icky. We have to take some risks. This is what's needed if we really want to be innovative and we want to be flexible. If we don't have a culture or an environment where people have permission to feel uncomfortable or to try new things and take risks, then there is no chance of innovation or flexibility. Now, when I work with schools, with teams, with groups, and I ask this question that I'm about to share with you, what I can sense and what I can tell is that they haven't had an opportunity to be innovative or think of ideas because this question I'm about to share with you is hard to answer. So I ask numerous questions and run round table discussions and group coaching to help prompt and probe and assess for different areas in school improvement that are context specific to a certain workplace. I always ask for ideas and strategies. I always ask, what ideas do you have? What suggestions did you have? If you would like to do one thing different, what would that thing be? If there's one thing we could remove that would help with stress, what would it be? Now, the only answer that I unanimously get is more time And my response to that is always, that's not an option, because we just don't control that. We need to be better at thinking about ideas. We need to be innovative. We need to think outside the box. And this question is, for some, so difficult to answer because they haven't been given the space to think about what could be done. They haven't been given the time to be innovative. They haven't been given permission to be uncomfortable with thinking about new things. And so we have to start to do this if we really want to drive change in our schools. This links with growth mindset, which we're always telling our students. This links with us being able to have the right approach to step in and not just see challenges as challenges, but see them as opportunities for growth. One of my favorite words, opportunities. Yeah, it's a problem, but it's also an opportunity. Where are our opportunities? When we can do this, when we can find our opportunities and when we can be innovative in our ideas and our thinking, what we then can cultivate is collective resilience and adaptability. How are we going to have that collective resilience that allows us to keep pushing forward when things become icky? And how are we going to adapt to any challenges or obstacles that we might face? Now, these things, when combined, help us also to promote psychological safety. That feeling and that knowing where in this environment, in this workplace, in this culture, I can speak up and share ideas and share my mistakes and share my failures, and I won't be judged or ridiculed or teased. I will be accepted. I will be safe. We need psychological safety in order for people to be innovative, to share new ideas, to get comfortable with uncomfortableness, to have that growth mindset and collective resilience. These things are crucial. So it's not just about being uncomfortable, it's about having an environment where we too engage in growth mindset and get in the learning pit, where we too, like we do with our students, expect them to be innovative or try new ideas or think out the box, to have that collective resilience and adaptability to keep going. Gosh, this is the cool stuff. This is where it happens. So how do we really embrace this discomfort? How do we become uncomfortable with uncomfortableness? As leaders, we have to model this. We have to say, hey, we know there are some problems here, but also some opportunities. We don't have all of the answers. These are some ideas that we have. What ideas do you have? Or saying something like, we noticed this was a opportunity. We tried this. It didn't work. We failed. Like it just didn't happen. I usually don't like the word fail, but in this context, we can kind of use it as a word that doesn't mean the end, like it's all doom and gloom. Like sometimes things do fail, they don't work, that's okay. So we can then demonstrate that support and that collective resilience by, but you know what, we're going to keep going. We have to set up supportive and safe environments. We have to know that it's okay to make mistakes in the workplace. These are our learning opportunities. Again, when I was teaching, I would say to my students, when I would ask a question and someone would be like, oh, I don't know, I would say to them, we don't say I don't know in this classroom. We say, I'm still learning. And we can do that as adults. We might not know the answers, but we can say we're still learning. That means we're supporting one another to continue with that open dialogue and that constructive feedback. And this then, with these incremental challenges that we're putting in, with these steps, with these spaces to take risks, with all of these things, it increases that level of engagement with staff, of fulfillment, of meaning, of purpose. They have that confidence. They can see that we're moving towards something. They're excited by something. And so then naturally that reflection and adaptability is strengthened. And we want to encourage flexibility, to be comfortable with uncomfortableness. We want people to know, you know what, we have to be flexible. We have to pivot. We have to know that when there's a storm, we want to be able to bend, not be rigid and break. And I think right now, as we move towards the end of the year and we think about next, what do we want to do? I think 2025 in education is the year for being uncomfortable, but in a good way. Uncomfortable in a way that promotes growth, uncomfortable in a way that is screaming innovation, but also being okay with knowing, like, I don't know if this is going to work. I don't know if this is going to work. And that is okay. If there's anything I can share with you from stepping out of school to running a business, it's that, like, half the time, I don't know what I'm doing. I kind of make it up as I go, right? Because I have to take huge risk. And in some of the risks I take, there's massive rewards. And I've probably done more things that haven't worked than what I have. And so we have to be prepared. I hear this, from business mentors all of the time. You're going to fail more than you succeed, which is why you have to keep trying. And if you don't keep trying, then you're just definitely going to fail altogether. But you can't wait for your ducks to be in a row. You can't wait for all of the signs from the universe. You can't wait for the system to change. You got to be prepared to get moving and watch the ducks follow. That's how we're going to create schools that are great workplaces too. I feel really excited by what's to come. And I know that we can create cultures that are not just great cultures, but cultures that are innovative, cultures that are work cultures. Like, when I say cultures, I mean culture in your workplace, your school, of resilient people, of innovators, of people that are adaptable, of people that are solutions focused, where we naturally and all of the time step out of comfort zones to grow, where we see problems as opportunities, and we start to know that through challenge we thrive, not without challenge. Thriving happens through challenge. It doesn't happen without it. It's all okay. Like, this is the vision we need to hold as we work to promoting staff wellbeing and creating that positive workplace culture. Because what encompasses positive workplace culture? The growth, the risk, the vulnerability, the resilience, the adaptability, the flexibility, the support, the psychological safety. That is where creating a school that's a great workplace exists. All right, lovely people, I'm going to leave you with that short but sweet, but very impactful, powerful. If you loved it, please share with someone, share, like, tag, play it for your team, whatever you want to do. Have any questions or comments, do the thing, you know how to find me, flick me an email, find me on LinkedIn. All of that is welcomed and appreciated. And if you need anything else, do let me know. Otherwise, have a great day, evening, night, and I'll see you somewhere soon. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. I really do hope you have enjoyed it. The information discussed today was just that, information only. It's not specific advice. If you take action following something you heard today, it's important to make sure that you get professional advice about your unique situation before you proceed, whether that advice be legal, financial, accounting, medical, or otherwise. Please reach out to me if you have any questions, or if there's anything else I can do to support your own wellbeing and wellness journey, whether it's another topic you'd like me to discuss, or whether it's support in your school, workplace, or individually. And if you do know someone who might benefit from listening to this, please remember to tell them about it, share the episode with them, or suggest my Instagram, my website, or LinkedIn, where they can find out more about me and what I do. And as always, I will see you in the next episode.